Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small-town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
The Garden Gate at 105 South Jefferson Street in Sigourney, proudly serving Keokuk County and the surrounding area for over 27 years. Give Cindy a call at 641-622-3191. Hours are Monday through Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 9 to noon. Stop into the Garden Gate for fresh floral arrangements, jewelry, home decor, sympathy gifts. They even have Hawkeye and Cyclone items. They've got something for everyone. It's the Garden Gate on the east side of the square in Sigourney. Don't get left out in the cold this winter. Head to your local Sinclair Napa for unbeatable deals on all your winter automotive needs. We've got a variety of jump packs, battery chargers and maintainers, windshield wiper blades, and de-icers on sale now. Plus, you can save up to $25 on select car batteries with an online rebate. Don't forget to grab a bag of Roadrunner ice melt for those slippery mornings. Visit Sinclair Napa in Montezuma, Sigourney, Centerville, Williamsburg, or Ottumwa, or at sinclairnapa.com. Julie's Homestyle Cafe at 216 South Market in Oskaloosa is a small place with a great big taste of home cooking. Established in 2009, Julie's Homestyle Cafe serves breakfast, lunch. You can have a slice of pie, dessert, and soft drinks. Julie's Homestyle Cafe is a veteran-owned cafe serving traditional breakfast and homemade lunch meals just like Mom used to make. Find more information at julieshomestylecafe.com or follow their page on Facebook. Let's glow crazy for the new year at Copper Lantern Sports Bar and Grill at 101 North Jefferson in Sigourney. We want to ring in the new year with a fun-filled glow party, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on the eve of 2025. Dress up and let's have some fun at Copper Lantern Sports Bar and Grill. Drink specials, music, jello shots, glow-in-the-dark games, and bring a snack to share with your friends. It's all happening New Year's Eve at the Copper Lantern in Sigourney. Not the monkeys. We're Aaron and Steve. I mean, we are a couple of monkeys. Here we are.
Here we are. Good.
It's time for real talk.
Yeah. How are you, Steve?
I'm good. How was your Christmas?
My Christmas was excellent.
Good.
We did things. We had presents. We ate a little more food than we needed to, but I had some self-control.
All right.
I ate less than 6 pieces of pie. So, yeah, good times. Good times.
Waiting. You mean a little bit of waiting to eat the rest of the pie.
Yes, because eventually the next day it's still going to be there. So,
Exactly.
got to do some push-ups now to get back into shape.
Are you still on your push-up kick? I know here recently you were on a little bit of a push-up kick.
I was on a big push-up kick. Then I fell down a mountain and banged my elbow, and it's still a little bit sore. But I'm like, I also wondered if maybe doing 100 push-ups every day kind of my elbow had been getting sore before I fell down the mountain.
Okay.
So I'm trying to ease back into it, and maybe we will not do push-ups every day.
Yeah.
But I have been going to the YMCA and doing goblet curls with a kettlebell.
All right.
Just like a curl with
Okay.
that you can't see very well, but just
I mean, from this angle, you kind of look like a kangaroo.
I don't know. Is that what kangaroos say? the Swedish kangaroos certainly. Oh my! All right, it's a little silly here in the Oski Dental Studios.
We have been waiting a week, patiently waiting for the follow-up to last week's show about waiting.
About waiting, yes. And you, dear listeners, have waited long enough. So before we get into the resolution of waiting, we're going to talk about another somber topic because it's real talk. And sometimes we talk about lighthearted, fun things because sometimes life is fun and that is real. But sometimes life stinks and that is also real. So we talk about that. But then we try to wrap up with hope because hope is also real. And you know what? I always enjoy when I see memes online, and they're supposed to be really clever. Atheist memes about how faith is so stupid, and faith is just believing things without any evidence. Those make me giggle because you can't even do science without faith.
Yeah.
Like, you have to believe that it's worth it to look into a microscope.
Sure.
Because how many times do you look into a microscope and not find something?
Yeah.
But you hope that by looking into a microscope or a telescope or whatever we're talking about, you're doing an experiment in the lab with tadpoles or mitochondria or things like that. You're hoping that you're going to discover something, and you have to have faith that discovery is going to be worth something. And what is this worth? Like, well, it will make the world better. Better than what? What does better even mean? So to hope and to have faith is to be human. So the question is just going to be, what do you have? Are you going to put your hope in something of substance, something that will support the weight of your dreams and your deepest longings? And so what are you going to have faith in? I'm hoping that the universe sends me a sign. Well, maybe you can put your faith in the universe. And ever since Pluto got downgraded,
Poor Pluto.
I haven't had any faith in the universe. It's like you can't even trust a planet to be a planet anymore.
I know.
So when we're waiting, that was our big topic last week. When we're waiting, we got to have hope, or we will give up. We will give up.
Yeah.
And I like to define the difference between giving up and quitting. And this could just be semantics. Like, you could probably just go the other way with this. But quitting is when you make a decision. Like, this activity, this habit, this relationship is no longer in my best interest. I'm tired of it, and I'm going to quit. And we would applaud someone if they quit smoking, right?
Sure.
Like, or some other, sometimes you have a job that you quit and you tell your boss, you can take this job.
How about this? Recently, there's a San Francisco 49ers football player that literally told his coach that he didn't want to play anymore in the third quarter of a Thursday night game here recently. And now they were like, okay, well, you can not play the rest of the year. How about that? I
had not heard about that.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, because now I'm going to define giving up.
Okay.
And we can figure out whether this guy quit or whether he gave up. Quitting is a decisive action that you take to make your life better.
He's not making his life better. Or his teammates.
I mean, I can see there's guys quitting football because they're saying, I've had 6 concussions.
Yeah.
And I love this, but it's destroying my brain, so I quit.
Yeah.
But giving up is when you just run out of energy and kind of slowly grind down and then sort of disappear and start ghosting your life.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody quits or nobody gives up smoking. You have to quit. You have to be decisive and take action. But we give up on things like so maybe this guy gave up on his football career. Like, I'm tired.
Yep.
This isn't fun anymore. Hey, coach, can I take a break for the second half? And then the coach says, yes, you can. And you're done. Wait, no. So yeah, I don't know what was going on in that guy's mind, and maybe that was the best decision for his life. But giving up is a lot more painful and long and drawn out. And we do that with relationships, or we do that with faith, or we do that. Sometimes we give up on a job and then we get fired because we just, we're not showing up anymore for it because we don't have energy. So in the midst of waiting, I think one of the most difficult things in life to do is to know when to quit. Because when we start off life, everybody tells us not to be a quitter, right? Mm-hmm. And that's important to teach little kids, because little kids will give up really easily.
Sure. If something's hard, yep.
Yeah, something's hard, whether it's math or a sport, or, and kids will run out of energy, and they'll run out of motivation, and they'll run out of self-discipline, and we all need to be taught to not be a quitter. Mm-hmm. Although maybe with my definition, we should be taught to be not giver-uppers.
Yeah. Don't
be a giver-upper. That doesn't have the same ring, does it? So we get drilled into our skulls for the first 20 years of our life. Don't be a quitter. And then we start to find out that it's giving up that's far more dangerous. And but yeah, it can be really tricky to know when it's time to quit. And like if it's your meth addiction, like, yeah, you should quit. That doesn't take a lot of brain. You should really quit.
And quit now.
Yeah, quit now. And if you're out there struggling with the meth addiction, you should quit. And there's ways, there's people out there waiting to help you. But if it's a job, if it's a relationship that had, worked for a while and brought you joy, man, it can be really hard to know when to quit. And when the impulse is just to give up. So we're past Christmas now. Can we still think about the Christmas story a little bit here?
Oh, sure, yeah.
All right. With Steve's permission, we will think about the Christmas story. I keep thinking about John and Elizabeth and how I think they had given up. And as we discussed last week, they were righteous people. They did everything right. And yet they got to old age, past childbearing years. People back then were smart enough to know what menopause was. And once you hit that, you weren't having kids. And so here's this childless couple. And surely they had given up. And then I think, too, also, like if you flip over to the book of Matthew, Joseph is going to marry Mary. And then he finds out that she's pregnant. And he knows it's not his.
Yeah.
And she's like, an angel visited me, and I'm going to bear the Son of God. And Joseph, like, if you put the timeline together between Luke and Matthew, you realize that before, like when Mary was first pregnant, she went to visit her cousin Elizabeth down in Bethlehem, and she's gone for 3 months, and then she comes back, and by that time Joseph's like, hey, did you gain a little weight? And she's like, no, I'm pregnant. It was an angel.
I like Mary's voice, by the way.
Thank you. Like, Joseph knows better, right? In the natural, he knows that she's been gone and she wasn't pregnant when she's left. And so the Bible says that being a righteous man and not wanting to submit her to disgrace, he decided to quietly break off the engagement. Quit, basically. And you look at that, and how do you blame the guy? He'd done everything that he knew how to do. He was a righteous man. He tried. He did his best. There was nothing left for this guy to do to be able to say life should work out for me. And so we see that both in Matthew and in Luke with Joseph and Matthew and John and Elizabeth in Luke, where I've done everything humanly possible and it still hasn't worked out. And that's the point at which most of us feel justified in quitting. But this is a crazy story. The story of the Bible is wild and wacky, and every time that you think it's just reasonable for people to give up or quit. I'm blurring my definitions. Help. We'll just use them interchangeably. Every time that you think, you know what, we would all sympathize with this person if they quit. And then God shows up. Over and over and over again. Just like almost every single story in the Bible. Right when you think that any reasonable person has a legitimate reason to quit, that's when God shows up. And for John and Elizabeth, they get pregnant, just like the angel says. Although they had to do something. It says John went home and lay with his wife, so they had to take some action. Joseph had a dream, and God showed up in a dream and said, Mary is actually carrying the Son of God. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here for our listeners who are familiar enough with the Bible to know that I'm not quoting directly. The thing that is in her is conceived by the Holy Spirit. And so I think our encouragement for the day is, yes, there's a time and a place to quit. But we usually get there too soon. And when we start to lose energy, we want to give up. So I want to encourage all of us to focus on hope. Hope is in something that we haven't seen yet. You don't hope for something that you have already. You hope for something unseen. And faith means that you continue to, just like a scientist, continues to look into the microscope, believing that there's going to be a discovery. Or believing that not discovering will, now all scientists know not to look here. And that's worth something. Mm-hmm. Perhaps the purpose of your life is to show everyone else where to not look.
Yeah.
But that's worth something. So what are we pinning our hope on? And I just love to pin my hope on God, because he is a God who shows up at just the right time. And you never know when that's going to be. It's usually a little bit further past what I think I can possibly handle. And then God does come through. So that is the meaning of Christmas.
Waiting is good.
Waiting is good. It really sets up those surprise moments of, I didn't know that it could be that good. And if you just got everything right when you first conceived of the desire to have the thing, and now I think as I get older, I enjoy the waiting more, and I enjoy the anticipation of how is this going to work out? What is God going to do? There's going to be some sort of a surprise here, and so I think.
And there's the surprise.
And there's the surprise.
Cat.
There's a cat again in the studio. Welcome, cat. I think our listenership has probably skyrocketed since last week when we first had a cat in the studio, and probably we just have lots of cat lovers.
I had the cat in my lap this whole show, by the way. Spoiler.
I've been able to hear it purring the whole show, but not loudly enough to catch the microphone. All right, we've reached the point in the show where cats have become the main focus, so I think it's time to wrap up. But I do want to say, if you're in the Wellman area and you're looking for a family of faith, if you're looking for people who pin their hope on God and to wait together and encourage each other not to give up, give us a try at New Life Community Church. We meet at the Parkside Activity Center at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. And we've got some other activities during the week too, smaller groups where you can connect with people for Bible study and encouragement, things like that. Bring the kids, bring the whole family. Come on down. Our motto is God, friends, and fun, and we.
You almost forgot it.
I almost forgot it. It's such a complex motto. God, friends, fun, and we take that seriously. Hey, you all have a blessed week. We'll see you around soon.
And have a happy New Year.
Oh,
be
yeah.
Be safe out there on New Year's Eve and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right. We'll see you here next week for more Real Talk.